Hey guys, so I promised about a week ago that I would make a new video about how TPN works. That's my intravenous nutrition that I get every day. And this is a really tricky video to make, especially by yourself. But I'm gonna just move the camera whenever I need to move it because that's the only way I can figure out how to do it. I can't figure out iMovie for the life of me, so I can't even drag a picture into it and it go. So I don't know what my deal is, but anyway, so we're just gonna do this kind of a cool way. So anyway, you're not gonna be able to see my face, so I've tried really hard. My computer is on like boxes and a stool. Like you can't see all the lovely works behind all this, but it's something else. So I'm gonna move the camera down so you guys can see. I'm just gonna get my bag ready and act like I'm gonna start some TPN. So I've made this, and obviously it never looks this organized whenever I'm doing it at night, but we're just gonna pretend it does. So anyway, let me get my pump real quick. So what we've got here is, this is the TPN bag. It's pretty large. I get 2,500 milliliters every night over 12 hours, 7 days a week. So that's the TPN bag. Then we have multivitamins, and they're in two separate vials, but they go into the same syringe because if they were together all the time, they wouldn't work. I don't know the right word for that. Anyway, so there's those. Here's batteries for my pump. It's really wasteful, and I know it's the worst, but I have to use new batteries every single night. Then we have 2 saline syringes. That's just salt water, which is basically if you get an IV in the ER or something, like you're just getting, usually just getting saline, which just hydrates you and just flushes my line so it doesn't get clotty and gross. And one of those is for night, and one of those is for in the morning. I just get it ready at night just because it's easier in the morning. And then this heparin syringe is also for in the morning, and it is to help my blood not clot in my line. Then we have this 10 cc, just a normal needle syringe, and that's just used for the multivitamin to get it into the bag. No needles are used in poking a human in this process, so that's always nice. And then I have forgotten some lovely additional supplies. Alcohol swabs. I'm down here in my backpack, by the way. And then these are just really cool to show you guys just because they're neat. This is a alcohol cap swab, and you can see it on the end of my line. It's this orange thing right here. The sun, I swear, it's changing constantly today, and so alright, so now we're in the sun. So what it is it goes on the end of my PICC line, and it has alcohol in it, and so my line is constantly being like sanitized in there, and that's something that just came out. Well, I mean, it's been out for a few years, but they've helped with infection so much that it's ridiculous. So anyway, I was just going to show you one of those. I don't use that until the morning either, but that's okay. So what I usually do is I usually don't have it all pretty like this, but that's okay. So we get the white cap vitamin here, and get us alcohol swab and swab it for a good 15 seconds. Don't count for me because I'm probably not going to do it right, but I'm just going to keep doing it until I have a counter up there. I could just do that. Let's see here. And I know people from Thrive watching, so we've got to follow all the rules, right? Alright, let's see here. And I've got a trash bag right here. I'm not just throwing stuff on the ground, I promise. Then we're going to pull back on this so that I don't know, I'm not scientific, but we're going to push that in. And just making sure that we don't touch anything that is supposed to stay sterile, which this needle is one of those things. So then that vial's done, and then we go to the blue top. And obviously I washed my hands really well before I started this. That's super important. So we're doing the same thing with this vial. So you see these vitamins are yellow. So if you've ever seen my TPN and it's super yellow and you're like, why? That's why it's a multivitamin, and it smells very vitamin-y, just like you would expect a vitamin to smell. It's very fun to swab things. See, we're just swabbing away. I feel so weird because you can just see my bottom of my face. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing where we pull back and act like I'm teaching you how to do this. I'm just showing you what I do. I'm sorry. I hope you never have to do this, ever. Unless you're already on it, then hey, you, Stephanie, Maddie, all my buddies. Okay, so we've got 10 mils there. And then there is a port on the TPN bag right here. It has this little sticker on it, just to kind of prevent germs from getting in there. I would really like to invent one of those with alcohol in it, because that would just, I mean, as much prevention for infection that you can do is super, super cool. So I think that would be a super cool idea. Maybe I should come up with that. But anyway, so this one, I hate these because they've got like a plastic thing that germs can kind of get in there. I know you can't see this. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it's just like this hub thing. And we have to do the same thing with alcohol and try and get really in those crevices just to make sure that germs aren't lingering in there. Not get your fingers. Make sure to only get the alcohol swab, because if you just use your fingers and your fingers get on it, it's just as bad as not doing this at all. So that's why I love that my company uses these bigger alcohol swabs. I've always been with companies that, or one certain company actually, that only gives you like these tiny alcohol swabs. And it's just like, okay, well, that's not even as big as my finger, like the tip of my finger. Like, how is that supposed to clean anything? This, I'm supposed to throw it in my Sharps container right now, but my Sharps container is in my room. So we are going to just put it right here. I'm going to recap it. You're not supposed to do that. Just don't listen to me right now, okay? Please. Okay. And just keeping a clean workstation is always good, just to keep throwing things away. And then you gently mix that vitamin in. Some people that do TPN have other meds that they put in. Right now I don't, and I just add the vitamin. And then, oh, I haven't even thrown these away. So this is my pump. I showed you my feeding pump. This one looks a lot different, so it's not hard to get them confused. Then there's the battery packs on the back, and so it's just, it's supposed to be able to survive for a long time without being plugged in, but we're having some problems with these Curlin pumps right now, and so I'm basically connected to my wall for like at least 8 hours a night. So the new batteries give me about 4 hours now, which is pretty much not that important, but it makes my life kind of weird that, you know, you don't usually hear somebody saying that they're connected to a wall for you know, multiple hours a day, but that's okay. So we're just going to change these batteries out. And I'm super spoiled. Thanks, Thrive. I love you so much. Oh my goodness, they spike my bags for me. There's been a lot of changes in a lot of things here recently. Baxter, the brand that makes these bags, they changed their bags, and we were having some serious issues because these ship to me from Ohio, so they have to, you know, be sturdy enough to deal with people throwing them around. By the way, I get like usually 2 to 3, sometimes 4, like large boxes every single Wednesday. My UPS or FedEx, I don't remember which one it is, which is really sad, but They probably hate me. I live on a second-story apartment, but they, like, charge up here like there's no problem with, like, pretty much... They can usually get it all in one trip, which blows my mind, but every time I see them, I tell them I'm so sorry, because that's just... These are heavy. Like, 7 of these and all the other supplies every single Wednesday. Like, please, lady, like, can you please stop? Like, they have no idea what's in there, but anyway. Who knows what they think I'm getting. Anyway, what was I telling you? Oh, yeah, so Thrive spikes my bags. Usually, or, a few months ago, I put this stabby thing into the bag. The bag was just its bag, and the tubing was separate. But this eliminates a huge, huge problem I used to have, because I go through bouts of being really weak, and, as you could probably understand, not absorbing and nutrients and, stuff like that. It's hard sometimes when you're not feeling well at all to have to do that. So thank you, people. You are the best, because this eliminates that stress for me. So all I have to do now is just take this wrapping off of the tubing. Just basically keeps it from getting super tangled. Sometimes it gets more tangled than other times, but that's okay. And I use the same backpack. If you watched a week ago, you probably saw the same backpack. It's just easier just to have a backpack that works best for everything. So I put my 2 syringes for in the morning in here. There's alcohol swabs. There's a bunch of alcohol caps in here. So that's for in the morning too. So then, which this is tricky because I can't do this part. So I'm just gonna have to tell you what would happen now, because I don't start. I just got off TPN. It's like 11. It's like not even 11 o'clock this morning. So, so this is my pick line, which some of you have seen these awesome covers from my friend Nicole that makes them. So if you have a pick line or any sort of intravenous thing that you want a cool, awesome cover, they're stretchy, they're breathable, they're perfect. I've tried to figure something else out, and these are the best. Like, this is it. So if you have one, I will definitely put you in contact with Nicole Bottles. She's awesome. And so I take that off, put it in that pocket as well, and then I take my, so here's a pick line. This is what it looks like. Can you see this? It's basically, and you can see my tattoo under it. And no, I didn't get the tattoo after I got the pick line, I promise. Nurses have asked, and no, that's not how I roll. So it has a sticker thing that holds it in, and it's just really and truly, it's just a tube that connects to my vein, which really grosses me out, but that's what it is. So I take this little orange cap off, do a saline flush. This, they just twist together. And then my pump, it does this, it opens, and I put the tubing in just with there's little tabs that connect into it. And I close the door, turn it on. It's super simple. I don't alter it. It's always the same, unlike feeding. Depending on how I feel with feeding, I kind of change it up the rate. But TPN, people ask, does it make me feel weird? Does it make me feel anything? The only thing I can tell you that it makes me feel is like, makes me feel like energized, I guess, but not like I just drank an energy drink, but I don't even really know what that feels like either. This is tough. Anyway, it gives me a boost of energy because it's my calories for the day. So like at the end, nearing the end of the day, I get a little tired, and then I get my infusion, and in the morning, I'm still tired just because it's in the morning, but it does make me feel better, I guess. I have to have it to survive, just like you have to have food to survive too. So, yeah, so that's how that is. There was another thing. Oh, that's what it was. So last week we talked about tube feeding. This is where people get confused. That goes into my guts, like where your food goes, right? This doesn't go to my guts. It doesn't go to my stomach. It doesn't make me feel full. It doesn't do anything that food, well, okay, it does do something that food makes happen for you, but it doesn't feel like eating food, if that makes sense. Some people are like, wow, that's a lot to go in your belly or what. I'm like, it doesn't. It literally goes straight to my heart, and that is why it's so important to be super clean with this. This all has to be sterile. Like, Anthony does my dressing changes. He has to be, like, in sterile gloves. Like, we wear masks. Maybe that's for another video, because that's crazy, too. But, like, with tube feeding, you didn't see me swabbing anything with alcohol, because that's not necessary. Yeah, you have to make sure your tube sides don't get infected, because they're basically open, like, they're not really open wounds, but I guess they kind of are. I mean, I don't know. But this is sterile, and, like, anything weird that happens with it, you have to, like, if my bag comes and something's weird with it, I have to call Thrive and be like, this is happening. There's air in my bag. There's this in my bag. The thing fell off my bag. Like, you don't just use it just willy-nilly, because let me tell you, I'm going to move this because I feel really dumb doing that. There you go. Okay. Because you can go septic with an infection with this. Like, I've had infections before, and they suck. Like, sometimes you don't know you have an infection, and you feel like you just have the flu. That's what it feels like. But you can really get yourself into some serious trouble, and even, like, it can kill you. I don't want to say that, but it's real. And so you just have to be really careful with TPN, and that's why a lot of doctors are weird about it. Everybody talking to me about that in my life, and the struggle of finding a doctor here in Northwest Arkansas. And I guess that's one of the reasons. It's just because it's a scary thing, because, I mean, you're being trusted at home with something that is scary. So, yeah. So anyway, that's TPN. If you have any more questions, there's so much to say about this stuff, because it's so much. It's just so much. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Even if you feel weird about it, you can ask me in person or text me or whatever you want to do. I hope that gave you an idea of, like, what this is like. I know I'm not connected to it, but I mean, basically I'm connected to a backpack for 12 hours a night, and that's really all it looks like. I mean, a lot of you have seen me with it, because I'll go out with it sometimes, and it's not fun. Oh, one other thing that a lot of people don't know, and I feel weird talking about it, just being like, well, this is why I don't want to do that. So, since my line is on my arm, once I'm connected to TPN, I can't change clothes. It's really stressful. It really stresses me out. So, if I'm going out and I'm connected to TPN, like, I'm probably going to look like I'm in my pajamas, mostly because I am. Because that's just how it is. Because every time you disconnect and reconnect, that's another, like, hey, infection, do you want to come this time? Like, that's the real deal of this. I think that's it. There's so much, guys. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I've gone even longer than I did on the tube feeding video, which I was pretty sure I would, because this one's way more intense than others. But anyway, I've been doing this since I was 13, so I'm pretty good at it. It's been 10 years, so if you've got any questions, I'm pretty sure I could probably answer or direct you to someone who could. Thank you so much again. Have a good week. Bye.